Alrighty, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope we're all doing well. I hope we're energized. I hope we're well rested. Um, are you guys hearing me well? Can I get a vibe check in the chat? This is if everybody's doing good. How we feeling? How we feeling? Okay, cool. I like to see it. Yes, 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 yes. Anybody else? How we feeling? Doing fine, doing good. Awesome, awesome. All right, guys. All right, so paper two is upon us, and we're about to start the session now. I hope everybody's doing good. So we I posted a poll in the chat recently. So far 29% of people are not ready. 60 well, oh no, it's changing. 68% of the persons are somewhat ready, and nobody's ready at all. Wow. Okay. All right. So hopefully after this session things can be changed. All right. So let's jump straight into it. Let's not waste any other time. Let's go. All right. So as we stated earlier, paper two is upon us. So we're going to now inspect what we need to expect moving forward. So the exam format, as we know, it's broken into 4 sections. We have section A being the summary writing section, section B, the expository writing, section C, the short story writing, and section D, the argumentative section. All right. So as we know, we normally get a planning guide. All right. So when we're doing the, well, let me change it from we and to put to you. When you guys are doing the exam, all right, there is a section normally, as it's here, where it says you may make notes here. This section will not be marked. No, I'm begging you guys. They provide it for a reason. Yes, it is not there just to, waste paper. Rather, it's for you to jot down all the important details, what you plan to write, how you plan to write it, and so forth. Again, you'll not be penalized for anything there. It won't be marked at all, right? So don't think that, oh, I have to rub it out with pencil or so. Don't worry about it. It is for your rough work, for your planning, right? So use the space available to you. How do we go about planning? The basic outline. So again, think of your introduction, right? How do you plan to start off your essays, whether it's the persuasive writing, whether it's a summary, whatever it is. You start the introduction, what is important to say. If you have important notes, this is mainly normally just for the essay, right? If you have anything important to say, what you plan to speak about, and then wrapping up just some sort of basic outline as to what you're going to have under your little note-taking session there. Are we clear so far, guys? I don't want to be moving too fast for anybody. Good? Just double checking. You guys can open your mic, by the way, if you guys, or just type in the chat, whichever you guys feel. And if at any time you guys have a question, you can always stop me. All right? Only one person respond. Come now, guys. Let me see some more persons. Awesome. All right, clear. All right, good. All righty. So what's next? So let's just jump straight into summary writing. All right. How do you write a good summary? Now, summary writing is one of the most important sections on the paper. All of them are important, but to me, it is one of the most. Reason being, it can be easily messed up. And this is where I don't want you guys to fall victim, right? How do you write the good summary? The first thing we need to read. Read the passage carefully and with understanding, right? And I'm going to repeat that again. Read the passage carefully and with understanding. Why do I say this? Multiple times, persons probably just think to get an idea of what the passage is saying without properly taking the time to read through it. Okay? So you have to understand not only what it's saying, but how you're going to reiterate it, right? So please ensure that you read the passage carefully before making any notes, okay? Even if you have time, what you can even do is read it twice to ensure that you get what the passage is saying. Are we clear on that? Okay. Next, keep it factual. Keep it brief and to the point. We don't want you to add anything new, right? Because that is not the time to add anything to the passage. It's not the time to show, oh, I am very brilliant, and let me add this and that and this to make it sound even better. No. All you're doing is keeping it factual, reiterating what the passage is about, and keep it to the point. Are you all clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Awesome.
sir.
Next, try avoiding using your own words or thoughts as it pertains to trying to introduce something different, right? Keep it to the point, right? Keep it brief and keep it factual. If you don't remember anything else, remember that. Don't try and add something that was not stated before. Okay? Keep the reader informed. In other words, ensure that what you're saying now, through your reiteration of the passage, ensure that I can go back to the original passage and say, okay, yes, this is exactly what you're saying in yours. Good? Write without judgment. Don't bother try things that, oh, this never, so let me take it out, right? Or this was supposed to be there in my opinion, so let me put it in. No, keep it factual, right? What was said, and this is all I'm saying, but in a shorter, condensed version. Good? And ensure it flows well. You don't want to be talking about today you woke up and then you're talking about something about tomorrow, then you're talking about something about last night. Ensure that there is a consistent flow of information to follow along with. Okay? So you don't want to talk about the benefits of water before talking about what water is. Yeah, I'm just just trying to get an understanding of flow. Are we getting it, guys? Good?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Excellent. All right. So how do I make it a bit better? Think about this. So there's $1 million reward for telling the CXC examiner what a specific piece is trying to say. However, every word that you use, you get $10 less. Or let us be real in Jamaican time. You get $100 less. Good? Every word you use. And you're trying to regain as much of the prize pool money. Good? You get $100 less. Any word that you reuse, whether it be a keyword or a phrase that's already in it, another $100. If you add something to it, another $100. So what this is trying to condition you to is the importance of keeping it condensed, the importance of capturing the information that was there already. That's one. And two, ensuring that whatever you say, it can be linked without being too wordy. This is not the section. Section A is not the section for you to be wordy. Section A is not the section for you to impress the examiner by using the big words. No, that is not the section. What this section is less is, okay? So please do not try to use big words or big phrases or anything to impress. This section is not the section to impress. Rather, it is to condense. Okay? So please ensure that this section, you try and keep this mindset, where if I use more words, it will cause me more problems. If I try to spin something differently, probably the writer didn't mean to say this, but me want to interpret it like this. No. Try your best to remain consistent and condensed. Okay? Please, this is the section for condensed. Good? Condensed information. All right. So what I also want to stress, guys, the importance of reading the instructions, because we're so used to moving fast and maximizing our time that we forget to read the instructions. It's very, very important because this is what guides you into ensuring that you write what the examiner expects. Okay? Somebody, can you read the instructions for me, please? Anybody? Any volunteer?
Read the following newspaper article on factors affecting the achievement of fitness and then write a summary of it in not more than 120 words. If this limit is exceeded, only the first 120 words of your answer will be read and assessed. As far as possible, use your own words. Your summary must be in
All right. So what I want us to thank you, volunteer, just for this section. Firstly, what I want us to look at is a few things. The first being this: not more than 120 words. Can anybody tell me what that means? Not more than 120 words.
It
You
means that
must
it's
not
not.
exceed the limit of 120 words. Or
Precisely.
yeah.
Precisely. That means nothing over 120. Nothing. And they clearly stipulated, that's why it's in bold, if it is exceeded, only the first 120 words of your answer will be read and assessed. So if you feel as if you can say, oh, sure, the examiner will forgive me, I'll just squeeze in the 150. No. 120 words. And here it says, as far as possible to do what? Use your own words. But sir, you're contradicting yourself. Didn't you not say to use our own words? Listen, in this scenario, your own words, you are basically reiterating what was said in the piece. There's a difference between reiterating and adding your thoughts to. I don't want you to add your thoughts to it. The only thing that you're doing is saying it in a different way, but in a condensed form. Am I clear on that?
Yes, sir.
Are we everybody clear on that? Can everybody give me a response? Yes, no, maybe so?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, excellent. All right, so it also says you may use the answer booklet to jot down a plan of your points or make notes. This will not be marked. Again, stressing the importance of using up what the examiner provides you, right? Using up what the examiner provides you. Good? In your answer, you'll be assessed on how well you were able to identify the main ideas and opinions in the extract. What did I say? Read the instructions carefully. But sir, didn't you just say the opinion's not supposed to be in it? I did not say that. I said your opinions are not supposed to be in it. It says to do what? Identify the main ideas and opinions in the extract. That means that what do you get from the extract, not what do you think about the extract. Okay? So please note the difference. Right? They're also assessing you on how well you organize and express these ideas. In other words, how did you reiterate what they said? And they're also looking at how well you use the appropriate grammar, sentence structure, vocabulary, spelling, punctuation. So guys, if see, you're not supposed to mess up on. The grammar, the sentence structure, your spelling, your vocabulary, your punctuation, you're not supposed to get less than if this section mark out to how much again? But say it mark out to 15 hypothetically, right? You must get 5 out of 5 for section C, right? Because not section C, part C of what they're looking for, because you cannot afford to mess up on vocabulary, spelling, the basics, right? So please ensure that the basics are all covered. Good. Now, let us look at a quick example, right? Now, can somebody read the first paragraph for me, please? Anybody? Somebody?
Imagine that you get up in the morning with the sweet sound of rain against the windows. You look out and the world sings to you. Water makes it possible. Crystal clear water is available right in the comfort of your home. Shortage is not even in the back of your mind because you know that the process of getting that water to you is in the hands of responsible persons.
Any opinions on how can we use what this said in our essay, in our summary? Because remember, guys, what I want is to use up the jotting sheet, right? Use it up to say, is there anything that I got from this that I need to put back into my essay, into my summary, right? Is there anything important, Delisa?
Sir, maybe only mentioning like the importance of water and it being like in your home because it's convenient.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, I like that.
So,
Anybody else? Mm-hmm.
so the sentence that says water makes it possible can be like a topic sentence.
Okay, all right. So you're saying water makes it possible can be a topic sentence. Possible to do what?
Do all the things in the paragraph that the author is talking about.
Like what? Because that standalone
Sir,
sentence.
you
Mhm.
can just state that water has many properties and characteristics, and it's used for many different purposes.
Okay. All right. It has okay. All right. That's good. That's good because it because remember, what they stated is that the crystal clear water in the comfort of your home. So it also talks about the need of water in our homes. All right. Um, even when you look at this sentence talking about shortage is not even in the back of your mind because you know that the process of getting water to you is in the hands of. Do we see how wordy that is? And is it needed in our summary? Those are some of the questions that we have to ask ourselves, right? We have to ask ourselves, is this important to what the author is trying to convey? Is this important to what I need in my summary? Remember, you have 120 words, right? And trust me, by the time you start writing, you're going to be worrying because trust me, it's not that much of words for you to write a long thing about. Okay, let's look at paragraph 2 quickly. Some forecasts show that by 2025, more than 3 billion people will face water scarcity. But this is not because the world lacks water. The world water crisis is a crisis of management, not one of scarcity. At the global scale, there is enough water to provide water security for all, but only if we change the way we manage and develop it. The scarcity of water is a very relative concept that we only that can only be seriously addressed by looking at a basket of factors, including socioeconomic, technical, and institutional aspects of water use. What do we think about this paragraph? Any thoughts? Or essentially, what is this paragraph talking about?
Where water crises occur or who has water shortages mostly.
Okay, all right. Anybody else?
The possibility of water crisis in the next 2 years from now.
All right. Okay. Anybody else? Good points. Anybody else? Or in the chat? Is anybody saying anything? What are we thinking about?
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
I think that the paragraph is talking about how we can a few ways in which we can secure water for years to come.
Mm-hmm. So essentially water security versus water scarcity, right? So we see, them talking about it not necessarily being that water, that the world lacks water, but it talks about how water is being managed around the world, right? We see here in this paragraph, it said the world water crisis is a crisis of management, not one of scarcity, right? So we see here that somewhere in this paragraph, what the writer is trying to convey is the whole issue of, is it water scarcity versus water security? Right? So again, these things you just need to jot down: water security versus water scarcity. And how would you now develop that? Right? Because again, what we try to do is cut out, all of the long drawn out facts and long drawn out things. What we're trying to get now is to summarize what the author is saying in a few words. Good? Water is important to our national economies, our leisure, and even our culture. The sustainable management of water resources is of central importance to poverty alleviation, people's health, and the protection of the environment. The best initiatives are those that make a political commitment to consider water as an integral part of sustainable human development, and those which strive to adapt management of the resources to the needs of the poor. Anybody, what do you think this is now talking about?
Water is important to our national economy.
Mm-hmm.
Why is
The
water
importance of
important?
water.
The importance of water. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we see here, this is now trying to summarize the whole importance of water. So the first paragraph, we see that, okay, this is just general information about water, or as I think, I can't remember the names, but you guys were talking about about some of the uses of water, or the properties of water. The other paragraph spoke about water security versus water scarcity. Now this one is also talking about the importance of water, right? Quickly, the fourth paragraph talks about our culture and lifestyles are key factors in the inequitable distribution of water, right? Changes in attitude and actions will bring out a positive difference, even when those attitudes and actions are as simple as realizing the value of water and remembering conservation practices. Our water use must be through sustainable practices with the aim of safeguarding this resource for our future generations. So, anybody want to take a gander of what that might mean, or what that paragraph is trying to convey?
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
I think that one is talking about like basically we are the ones that depend on how much water can be distributed and if we'll have water for like the generations to come, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How we
Alright, sounds good.
conserve water and what we do with it in order to have it in future generations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So sustainability is a huge thing. It also talks about water distribution around the world. It speaks about the need for generational practices. So right, so think about this. It talks about the value of water, right, and the water conservation practices. There's so many things that this paragraph talks about, right? But again, remember, we're not inputting our thoughts and say, oh, I believe that this is a very good initiative that we are definitely supposed to be thinking about the future. No, just keep it to what it speaks about, because remember, 120 words is not a lot of words. Think about it. By the time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I have to do that 12 times. And then by that time I finish. So we have to try and pick out the key things. Good? There is no quick fix or simple solution when it comes to safeguarding and managing a resource that is in as much demand as water. It is evident that to maintain our most precious resource, our managerial capacity has to be upgraded. since the current strategies were developed for past human and natural needs and are now inappropriate to our present needs. What are we thinking about this one now? This paragraph.
Solutions in order to preserve water.
Okay, I like that. What else?
Sir, like if you want to conserve water, it has to be like a continuous action. It has to be a continuous action in order to meet the demands of water.
Okay, all right. So now this paragraph is now called for solutions, right? Seeing that there has been how can we say, like a generational shift, right? In the water consumption patterns, whether that be for cultural reasons, economic benefits, because you know that probably irrigation or such. But again, what I'm saying for the probably irrigation is just for you to understand the generational shift, not necessarily for you to put it back in your summary. Why? Because we're trying to cut down on words. Good. So whether it be a generational shift, because of socioeconomic factors, whether that be cultural reasons, whatever it might be, we're just acknowledging that there has been a generational shift. Good. It's evident that to maintain our most precious resource. So you see that the opinion of this author here is that water is our most precious resource. So that's another key thing that we need to highlight. The need to upgrade the managerial processes. How do we know that? Because even in paragraph 2, we see where the author called for, a greater management of this water crisis issue, right? And there not necessarily being water scarcity, but poor water management practices. Are we all understanding what I'm saying? Or am I just talking foolishness? Are we getting it?
Yes, sir.
Yes? No, maybe so? I want to hear one answer.
Yes, sir.
Yes? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So what I want to spend a bit of time on, guys, is expository writing, because I know for a fact that this section is heavily critiqued, and I want us to understand the different. One second. I want us to understand the different forms that it might come in. Let me reshare my screen to a document that I have here that would better assist you guys as it pertains to expository writing. All right. So are we all seeing the screen? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right. So this is section B, expository writing, and it can come in many forms. And I'm trying to prepare you guys for as much of the forms as possible. All right. So quickly, what it is, it's purely informational. And it is also purely objective, right? So unlike subjective pieces like persuasive writing and whatever it is, this one specifically is meant to inform, meant to explain, or to describe. Good? The author assumes that the reader has no prior knowledge of this topic, none at all. So they don't know nothing about it. Good? So again, it contradicts that of an argumentative or a persuasive piece, where the primary goal of this type of writing is just to simply deliver information. It has no need to persuade, convince, or to justify anything. All you're doing is informing, explaining, or describing a situation, or whatever context given. Are we clear on that? Are we all clear on that? I want to ensure that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Awesome. So a letter. So again, as I stated, it can come in many forms. But we're going to look at the letter. Now, it is direct or personal written or a printed message addressed to whomever person or organization. That's the most simple one. Can either be in an informal setting or a formal setting. Good? So when you're writing a letter, ensure that these three are there. General principles, as they call them. Ensure that there's clarity, right? It's clearly expressing the content that it avoids, ambiguity, so you don't want a vagueness, right? The conciseness. We don't want not drawn out something, because why? It needs to be as concise as possible. We don't want to hear about, oh, my day was absolutely fine and yeah, I woke up to coffee. No. We don't want any irrelevant details. Good? It needs to be polite, because we're now looking at courtesy. It needs to be very, very courteous in tone, right? No abusive language, no vulgar language. It needs to be polite. Good? Now, there are different formats. As we know, the social format is the most simple one, or as many might call it, the informal letter. We have your address here. This is to the left. And then you have the date. Please do not forget the date, as many might do, right? The salutation, whether it's a dear Mark, dear Sally, dear Mike, whomever it is, ensure the dear is there. Ensure the the indentation of a new paragraph. I can't stress this enough. Please ensure that every new paragraph that is started, it is properly indented. Everybody knows how to indent, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, I just have to double check, okay? Ensure that each new paragraph is indented. And after you write at the body of the paragraph, you just do a complementary close, all right? Just do a complementary close. Only first word is capitalized, please. So it's not capital Y, capital F, nor capital B, capital R. It's very simple. And then your name as a signature. Good? The social letter, here's an example of it, right? Again, it's informal, so you can write whatever you want to, essentially. And it also ends here. Just note the indentations of the new paragraph. Note the address and the date. Note the salutation here and the body. All paragraphs indented and it's clearly seen. And then we end off with the closing and the name. Good? Now, the business letter is much different. The main difference being two addresses, where you have yours up top, the date right under, and then the recipient's address and name. Good? You have the salutation here. Dear sir, madam, or if you know is who. If it's unknown, this is what you use. If it's known, dear Mrs. Mason, dear Mr. Tyson, dear yada yada, whomever it is. The body of the letter is then there. Each new paragraph is indented, right? That's only when it's normally handwritten, okay? And then you have the complementary close, only the first word capitalized as always, and then your full name as the signature. So you don't put yours truly, Bob. No, Bob Brown, right? You put the full name. Are we clear on that? Are we all good on that? Yes, no, maybe so?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Alrighty. Wait, someone said that they can't see my screen. Are we all seeing the screen? I'm not sure.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Seeing the
sir.
screen.
All right, good. Just had to check. Alrighty. Where are we now? So let's now look at the sample of the business letter. It's here, where you have to the top left. As I stated, this is your address up top, the date in the middle here. Then the recipient's information here, where you have the name up top and the address to the bottom. Yeah. And then we start off with Dear Mr. Jones, colon, when we look at the difference with the social letter or the informal letter, which is the comma. The formal letter or the business letter uses a colon. Please note the difference again. Note the indentations. Yours truly, normally, they would sign, but for your sake, a full name is fine. Good? And then those are the main differences. All right? Now, when do we use which? Again, you don't really need to know, but just general information. Write formal letters to apply for a job, make a complaint, apologize, to request permission, to invite someone. Those are formal letters and normally used by banks, businesses, companies. However, personal letters are relaxed nature. Just have a chat, talk about whatever if you want to talk about, the new car where you buy or the new phone where you get, whatever you want to do. That's the informal letter. But again, CXC would normally tell you which type. But again, if they don't, if for the odd chance they don't, please note when to use which. Okay? So if them say just write a letter, it depends. So if it's a case where you are given a task to say, for example, write a letter to the homeowners association for the recent say for example, dogs just pooping everywhere. And then you as the homeowner in a gated community, you are now tasked with the permission, with the task essentially, to write to the homeowners association explaining not only your disgust but an immediate remedy to the situation. How are you going to do that? And which type of letter would I use? Would I use the formal letter or the informal letter? Anybody?
Sir, repeat the question.
Repeat
All
the
right.
statement, please.
So you are now in a situation, and again, normally CXC clarifies it, but in the odd chance that they don't, let's take this for an example. You live in a gated community, all right? As of recent, many homeowners have been complaining that dogs, whether it be pet dogs or random stray dogs, have been, let's say, for the lack of a better word, pooping on not only your lawn, but every lawn, right? Now, you are tasked with writing to the homeowners association, expressing not only your disgust, but seeking either reparations or a remedy to the solution, to the situation. What type of letter would then be best fit for that situation?
Formal letter.
Exactly. Right? But again, another scenario is they task you with explaining how your week at the king's coronation was, right? So you're supposed to write a letter to your family explaining all the details about the king's coronation that happened today, and you were there. What type of letter would you use for that?
Informal.
Exactly, so it'd be an informal letter, right? So just note the difference when to use which. Okay. All right. Are we all clear on that? Jalissa said, so there's no comma for the informal letter. Yes, there is a comma for the informal letter. For the informal letter, they use a comma here by the Dear Susan, the comma. But for the formal letter, you use a colon. Yeah? Use a colon for that.
Okay, sir.
All right. So are we all clear on that? Everybody said yes? All right. So we're moving on now to the memorandum, or the memo, or the memoranda, right? And it is simply a written message in a business. Good? Sometimes in organizations, reports are written in the form of a memo, right? And it's normally just to make a decision or take action. Good? And what are some of the characteristics? Similar to the summary, it's brief, it's factual, and it's as a means to improve flow of information, right? It sends out announcements, it sends instructions, it sends requests, and documents any sort of incidents in writing. And in which setting do we write the memos? It's normally written within organizations, right? Employer to employee, businesses, staff, administration, schools, etc. All right. Once individuals are part of the organization, they communicate with each other through memos. So this is a normal means of communication. Good. All right. So the sample of a memo. Let's look at it. Again, it is very, 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 very detailed at the same time as very, 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 very concise. Good. So from date subject, can't forget that format. So normally you can write memorandum at the top. From date subject. So who am I writing to? There we go. To Mr. V. Anglin, the Dean of Students. From who? Mr. R. Smith, the head of the biology department. When am I writing it? 21st of September 2004. The subject, student in discipline in canteen. So again, if I cannot tell what this subject is or what you're writing about through the subject, I am immediately taking half of the marks. In other words, please ensure that your subject line speaks exactly as to what I am going to read. Take it like this. If I had absolutely no means of doing anything, where say for example, I am the principal and I get hundreds of these a day, I am supposed to be able to read your subject line, not only determine my importance, or well, determine the importance to respond in a prompt time to your memo. That's one. And two, I am supposed to already know what you're going to talk about before I even read it. If those two cannot be answered, you are writing a poor memo from the start. Are we clear on that? Everybody understand what I'm saying here?
Yes, sir.
So please ensure that your subject line directly correlates to what you're writing about. So in other words, if I'm talking about a fight that happened in whatever school or whatever place, there we go. It's supposed to be fight in at Bobby Brown High School, or whatever it is. I am supposed to already know what you're talking about. No, this is strictly factual. Again, no opinions, no bias, no no input of feelings, nothing. Only thing you're doing is stating facts. On Wednesday, September 2004, I received a report that Paul Harvey of 5B had taken 2 plates of food from lunch. I spoke to Paul and he denied the charge, claiming that he had given the second plate of food to an unnamed student. A few minutes later, I made a surprise check at the table where he and his friends were eating. I discovered the extra plate of food, which no one on the table claimed. I am asking you to consider whether disciplinary action against Paul Harvey is appropriate. 2 things. One, when you read this, right, did it match up with the subject line? Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It did, exactly so. Right? On because it's talking about probably Paul take 2 plates and he's not supposed to, then he's in discipline, right? So again, it directly correlates. And do you see how she never said, boy, I think said Paul is supposed to get two slap because he do it. right? Or I feel as if, Paul, no, all you're doing as the dean of students, that is your job to determine. So I am writing it to you for you to determine that. Strictly facts, strictly to the point. Good. Let's look at going on to the emails, electronic mail,
Wait,
email.
sir.
Everybody know what email.
Question,
Go
sir.
ahead.
If it's just a one little time, sir, because probably the day them hungry body, you know?
Boy, I saw it go sometime, I saw it go sometime, not lie. I saw it go sometime. But again, that is for the dean to decide that. Yeah? That is for the dean to decide. So that is why you can now say, although I feel that he was rather famished, I believe him not supposed to get punished. You can't say that. All you have to do is simply report the facts. What did you do? What did you see? What did you witness? Right? Only reporting the facts. So although you might understand the reasoning behind it, you are not supposed to be sympathizing. You're not supposed to be empathizing. You're not supposed to be stating any opinions. All you're doing is stating what exactly transpired and putting it in a memo format. Okay? All right. Let's go to the email. So simply, their messages distributed by electronic means from one computer, one phone, one tablet, one whatever to another recipient or more. And that is exactly how you guys got the communication, through emails, right? So do's and don'ts. Firstly, use a professional email. And I can say, and I know that Jonathan is extremely happy at the fact that when sending out these emails, we didn't get a lot of cute girl 123, bulldog Paul 125. No, they were simple and to the point. Bob_Brown@gmail.com. XYZ@gmail.com, XYZ@yahoo.com. Use a professional email. If you don't have one now, invest in a professional email. Use your name _last name or your full name at whatever. No bother with no cute girl 123, big man 125. No. Professional email. Be clear in the subject line and match the message. Oh my gosh, as I just said, please. Because even me, I get multiple emails. And if it don't make no sense, but I don't even open it. Briefly introduce yourself to the new recipients. Keep it short and get to the point and maintain privacy. Do not email angry. In other words, if you're upset, take some time for cool off before you send off an email. Avoid exclamation points. Do not send one-liners. Thanks. Oh, okay. It's irrelevant. Never need that. Avoid using shortcuts, emoticons, or slang. Again, this is more in the professional settings, and do not share sensitive information. Just simple general knowledge. Recipients of emails, you guys know this. Whomever can receive an email. Now the format. To whomever. Subject, again, be clear in the subject line. Make sure it matches the message. Body of the letter, dear whomever, right? Or whomever may concern. Introduce yourself and your purpose of writing. That is normally if they don't know you. For example, when writing to a potential employer, you might say, my name is Earl Rivers. I am contacting you to apply for whatever position listed and whatever place. Be to the point. Be direct but polite. Keep it brief. Use formal language, please. Include the necessary attachments. For example, include a note like I am attaching a copy of my resume or a portfolio in a PDF format, whatever it might be. In the closing, same format. So in other words, this is simply a letter, but electronically. And here's a sample. To, from, CC. Everybody know what CC and BCC mean? I don't know if they're going to ever ask you about it, but I just want to ensure that.
No, sir.
No? Yes? Okay. So CC means carbon copy. Or in other words, if, for example, it's normally used when you want to send an email. All right, so say, for example, I want to send it to electrical store, but I want to basically send a copy of that email to whether it be so for example, my mother want to know about it too, or my wife want to know about it too. If that be the case, I would CC them because they don't necessarily need to get it, but they are copied on it. So they can see that not only prove that I sent it, but another means that, you know, that they are important to the message. When CCing, the recipient can see who you CC. Make sense? Make
I
sense so
didn't
far,
get
guys?
what you said.
Sir.
Or do I need to go over it again? Anybody else want me to
Yes,
go over
yes,
it
sir.
again?
Go over it.
Go over. All right, let's go over it again. It means carbon copy, right? Carbon copy. So whenever I'm sending out an email, say for example, I need to send an email to the principal, right? But if I need to send an email to the principal, I need to put the principal email here, so in the to line. However, say for example, protocol dictated that whenever I send an email to the principal, I need to ensure that her secretary can also see the email. However, I don't need to necessarily put the secretary in the to line, although if I put the secretary in the to line, she'll get it as well. However, just to make it not only look better, but to show that you are not the intended recipient, you go in the CC line, the copy line, for me to say, okay, although you're not supposed to necessarily be the total recipient of the email, you are sent a copy of the email. Right? That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Make sense, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Everybody understand? I want to ensure that everybody clear before I move on now. Right. All right. BCC now, blind carbon copy, is where I send you a copy of the email, but the only difference is that whomever I'm sending it to don't know that I sent it to you. That's like blind. And that is how all of you would have gotten your emails without your email being circulated. Make sense?
Sir, so what,
You can repeat that. You can repeat what you said.
All right, hold on. I hear questions. So, sir, why what?
sir,
If
so
you could
if
repeat
you're
what you said.
sending it to someone
All
and you
right.
want,
Anthony, yes, I'm going to repeat. Tiger again?
sir, if you're sending it to someone and they need to put CC, what you must put in the line?
You're sending it to someone and you need to put CC. Okay. So if they tell you to write an email, right? If they tell you to write an email, you don't necessarily need to put anybody in there because you don't need to. Because they wouldn't have provided. All right. Have you guys ever written an email? Like write it?
Like what if them tell us say you have to put somebody in a
Okay,
carbon
if
in a
so all right. So if they tell you to put somebody there, you just put somebody there. But because emails are normally used in businesses, right? You would normally know who to copy. So say for example, if I'm sending something to my boss, I'd normally have to copy my manager, right? So they can both know, you know. But in the instance where CXE might ask you to write an email, again, they would either tell you who to copy or you just don't copy anybody. Are you guys getting what I'm saying? Because normally there wouldn't be anybody to copy. Understanding me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Catalia? Someone had their hand up.
Sir.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, when you're writing the email, is it necessary to add the date? Because when my teacher was teaching it, she added the date, so I need to know if it's necessary.
Okay. Again, yes, because emails are they're normally generated electronically, so the date would automatically be there. But you see, because it's I often wonder to myself as to why CXE have you guys writing emails, because it kind of defeat the purpose of an email because it's an electronic thing. But again, I'm not CXC, so I can't, petition on that. However, there's not really anywhere to put the date per se. But if you're taught that way, I can't tell you not to do it, but I wouldn't. That's just me.
Sir,
But if it,
sorry, wouldn't it be the same thing when you put from? Because by right, when you email somebody, you already see the username on it or who it's coming from.
all right. Again, that's what I'm telling you. All right. Normally, because an email, the computer would already say that it's coming from you. But again, for CX, because because you're writing it, I guess they want for you to know the different formats. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So because you're writing it, it's just totally different from if it was done on a computer. Again, I can't control what CXC want you to know, but again, it's just one of the important things. Make sense? Any other question about email? Are we all clear? Are we all clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Alrighty. Let's continue. Report. Normally one of my favorite one. So again, if nothing else, this is the most factual thing. And it has to be the most factual thing because it gives an account. An account that is usually presented in heavy detail. Heavy detail. The expectation is that you're objective. No, it's not supposed to be based on feelings, opinions. It's not supposed to be based on if you like the person or not. It is strictly based on facts. It's supposed to be very inclusive of details, as much details as possible, right? It's supposed to be well organized. It must be in a logical sequence. So, for example, if you're reporting on an incident, about a crash, for example, that transpired on Mandela Highway, right? I don't want to hear that the police were on the scene, right, responding to the crash, and then the crash happened. Please, that doesn't make no sense. That makes no sense. So please ensure, because guys, we've seen it happen before. So I'm trying to tell you, ensure that it is organized in a logical order with sequence. It can't be 12 a.m. the crash happened, and then 11:55 the crash, the two cars slamming into each other. That don't make no sense. Please ensure that it is logically ordered in a sequential manner. There are different types of reports. So the police report, sports report, missing persons report, club project, eyewitness, business, school, news. The most common ones are the police, the missing person, the eyewitness, and the school, and sometimes the news. And those are the most common ones. So simple reports. And this is what I love to call the who, what, when, where report, right? It gives details of the what and sometimes the why. Sometimes the why. And it explains the outcome or might give recommendations, suggestions for an outcome. Good? The scenario. So there was an incident on the school's recreation ground during a friendly cricket match between the female students when two female students interrupted and one's action caused the injury of one of the players.
Male.
Wait, hold on. Sorry guys, I have the Zoom screen kind of blocking it. All right. Okay, I can see better. So there was an incident on the school's recreation ground during a friendly cricket match between female students when two male students interrupted and one's action caused the injury of one of the players. At the head prefect of the school, write a formal report to be sent to the principal. So here's a perfect one. Again, the first thing that I want to see is the most important thing for me, the subject line. Although you're not going to put subject and then write it, you put report on incident on the recreation and ground and the date. Good? Again, this is concise, factual, and to the point. The incident on the school's recreation ground occurred on the 15th of June 2004 at midday. The girls of Form 1 were engaged in a friendly cricket match with the girls of Form 2 when two male students interrupted the match and one caused injury to one of the players. Again, strictly factual. In the middle of the match, Shane Williams detailed a student of Form 4 and Gary Moore, student of Form 3, entered the field and began heckling the girls. What I also want for you guys is to imagine this. Can I picture this transpiring without a video? Right?
Yes.
Can I picture it happening without a video? If it makes sense, I am supposed to be able to visualize exactly what's happening. So I can visualize the two sets of students playing the cricket match. I can visualize that at the in the middle, two of the boys start heckling the girls. As Sasha, one of the players, ran to take a catch, Shane ran towards her, tripped her, and caused her to fall. Her mouth struck Shane's boots and began to bleed. Gary tried to stop the bleeding with the handkerchief, but he failed. Mr. Rutter Payne, the physical education teacher, was called to assist. He took Sasha to the hospital where she was treated, by a nurse in the casualty department. Mr. Payne then took Sasha home to her parents. There, an explanation was given to the parents as to the cause of the incident. The physical education teacher, Mr. Payne, is conducting an investigation of the incident. What do we think about this? Any thoughts?
So that the events in their report was well organized.
Okay, well, Anybody else?
Sir,
Sir,
it was stated as
it
identified.
was straight to the point.
It was straight to the point. Okay. Someone else was speaking?
Sir, I was saying that it's clearly stated and identified.
Yes. So does it match up with the scenario? Are we seeing the comparison?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So that is that. Any questions for the report?
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it bad to input too much of information that they didn't give in the scenario, like as in like make it somewhat more interesting than what they did in the on what they gave in the scenario?
The scenario gives, well, all right, let me tell you. What this scenario does, it leads you on essentially what to write about. I can't tell you, because me named it, that never happened. I am trusting that your report is factual. Yeah? As a head prefect of the school, I can only trust that what you're reporting on is factual. But look at this now. If Lemar writes something and Ashley writes something else, yeah, and they're in the exam, I don't expect them to have the exact same thing because their imaginations are different. If they did, I would have automatically known that they're cheating because they're not supposed to have the exact same thing. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So for this section, if you get a vague scenario, it is for you now to come up with whatever you want to, because that is what you would have witnessed. Yeah? Lemar, on the other hand, might have witnessed it is not Gary Moore of Form 3, rather it's Bob Brown of Form 5. Again, I can't dispute that because me and Dede, he was there. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So there would have just been two different scenarios that we would have just to assume that your account is correct. Does the report need a to and a from? No. The report does not need a to and a from. The report only needs to ensure that what is written is the subject line here and the information. Because you're already in a scenario, okay? You're already either the head prefect or you're the principal or you're whomever. So they normally give you the role. All you have to do is just write your account. All right. Notices. So it's a written announcement in a place where everybody can read it. This is one of my favorite ones. It's formal and it gets to the point. It's normally to announce, display information to a specific group of people. It's normally to invite to a meeting, announce an event, issue certain instructions, make appeals, whatever it is. So when doing a notice, ensure that it provides complete information, right? Ensure that it's short and grammatical sentences. It must have a title, which should be preferably a phrase and not necessarily a sentence. The language should be impersonal. The notice should mention the name of the person or body organizing the event and ensure that there's a date and it answers when. When would it be? On the 5th of July, 2025. Where would it be? National Arena. Why are you doing it? In support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, whatever it is. What it is a run walk. How is it going to work? Them are gonna sort that out. So essentially, just ensure that it can answer those questions. Right? Now the format, name of the issuing agency or authority, whomever is doing the noticing. The word notice is normally preferred to be there. Date of issue or the release of the notice, the title or the subject of the event, the body, the authorized signatory, whomever it is. Now, here's a sample question. The residents of Sweets Village had been experiencing water shortage for nearly 3 years. All right? You're planning to hold a meeting of your village members, write a notice in about how much words? 50 words, inviting the residents to attend the meeting to protest against the water shortage. You are Karen Joseph, the president of Sweets Village Restaurant Welfare Association. No people. No, the 71 persons in the Zoom meeting, along with the 20 on YouTube, let me tell you this. If you are given a role, and please hear me carefully, if you are given a role and you're given a name, that is your new role and that is your new name. I don't want to see, I am English teacher, comma, Rowan Small. No, it clearly states you are Karen Joseph, the president of Sweetest Village Resident Welfare Association. Please ensure that that is you. Okay, please. How do we go about doing this? Again, you can put the organizing association here as it states, notice, the date to the left. What is this notice about? Water shortage in the village. So again, I'm supposed to can pick it up and don't have to read the rest of it to then know what you're going to talk about. Yeah? A meeting of the residents of Sweetest Village will be held. Where would it be held? In the town community hall. When would it be held? February 25, 2016. Why are you holding it? To discuss and protest against the water shortage in the village. All members are requested to attend the meeting. For further details, please contact the undersigned. And the undersigned is Karen Joseph, the president. Do we see how short that is? How many words? Let's count the words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. 48 words. So do we see how short the notice is?
Yes, sir.
Barely 50. And this managed to capture everything that it would have needed without surpassing the 50-word limit. just as is. Easy marks that. Easy marks. Easy marks that. So if you see a notice, I don't want nobody who came to this marathon to mess it up because it is easy. Because them tell you everything to do already. Them tell you don't pass 50. Them tell you who you be. Them tell you why you're doing it. They basically are telling you to literally write this back and get marks. I don't see how somebody can mess up the notice. Any questions about notice? Talking. Any
Sir, how
comment?
often is this given on PC?
I can't tell when I say one. I really can't tell when. But hopefully it comes. But I can't tell it when come this year or not when it come. Hopefully it does, but prepare for anything. I can't tell when I say one though. And that's normally a good sign.
Coming.
Huh?
It's definitely not coming.
I doubt it too. But if it does, I'd be very happy. Because I know that everybody that came to this marathon should shop it. Yeah. I think that is it. Any questions about any of the things that we mentioned? Any questions, comments, concerns? Let me jump back to the original screen.
How many marks does each question?
Huh? How many?
How many marks are the questions worth?
All right. So normally, section A, that is the
I'm not hearing clearly.
Not hearing me? Are you hearing me better now?
I'm hearing. Yes.
Okay, right. So for section A, that section is normally worth 25 marks, right? That's a summary writing section. The section B, that is the expository writing section, that is normally worth 30 marks, right? Normally worth 30.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
All right, never.
Not hearing.
Never mind, sir. Never mind.
Oh, you sure?
Sir, I was going to say if I was to make a right one notice and get 30 marks for that.
Yeah. Yep.
30 marks for a notice? I hope they bring that. Hopefully they bring that.
We hope so too.
Faith
That
and
is
strong
our-
mind, you know. Faith and strong mind.
Huh?
Don't faith
We
and
just have
strong
to
mind.
hope. Well, let's see. But that's what I'm telling you. Normally, if they bring it, it's a very rare scenario. But let's see. Section C, that is normally the essay writing section. That is worth 25 marks. And section B is another 20. Expository writing is normally worth the most. Okay, it's now 6:15. I think we should take a break now, a 15-minute break, and come back at 6:30. What do you guys think?
Yes, sir.
Think we should take a quick break?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back at 6:30. All right?
All right, sir.
I hope we're back. Can I get a confirmation that we're back? Are we back? Are we back? Are we ready to start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm hearing a 2, 1, 2, yes.
Yes, sir. Ready, sir.
All right.
Yes,
Awesome.
sir. Ready by now.
Awesome. All right. So now, guys, we're going to be looking at section C, which is a short story writing. This section, I love when I tell people this, but this is where you let your creativity explode on the paper, right? This is where you be as creative as possible. You'll be as talkative as possible. You'll be as expressive as possible. It's short story writing. As the name suggests, short story writing. Not a book, not an essay. It's a short story. Now, let us look at this example. I think this was extracted from either 2018 or 2030. As you always do, read the instructions. Your answer in this section should be approximately 400 to 450 words in length. What does that mean? That means that it should not exceed 450 and it should not be less than 400 words. So do not write 275 words and expect to get maximum marks. Do not write 380 and expect to get maximum marks. 400 to 450, as I always tell people, go right in the middle, 425 words, perfect.
But sir, who really going to count that much words though, sir?
You'll be surprised.
Oh my God, that is sad.
Treat your exam paper like this. Imagine for a split second, all right? They're deciding on who they're to give a national award to. And your paper come up and another paper come up. And if I say, count their words to say who followed, do you want to not get an award just because you didn't follow instructions? I'm almost sure that answer should be no.
No, sir. No, sir.
Exactly. So try to make your paper as perfect as possible. Try to make your paper as compliant as possible, because at the end of the day, you may very well be in that situation, right? So when you will have those examiners who will literally sit down and count them because of what they expect of you. And you have, remember, it's not your teacher marking the exam. It is not 1 second. Right. So please expect this, guys. All right. Any other questions?
Sir,
Uh-huh.
yes, I'm saying like them are gonna give you like one little passage like when they would have put like sometimes over there at school, them would have put one little passage in there so for add this supposed to in the story. Like we're gonna get the option there.
It'll be an
Or we're gonna get
option.
only one.
So
Either
all
a
right, so
picture
look at
or
it
a
now.
sentence.
So
Because
this
I hate
section,
writing from a picture.
no, that's fine.
Then we'll give you a
because
line. Then we'll give you a line.
This section is an either or section, right? So it is either you get 3 things normally. It's either A, you write based off the picture, you write based off a story that includes this, or a description, right? It's either one of the 3. Good? So what I want to prepare you guys for is the eventuality that if you find it difficult to write on one, that shouldn't be a problem for you because you have 3 options. I don't know if they rule out the description as of recent, but I have to double check on it. Again, in your answer, you will be assessed on how well you do the following, right? One second, guys. Okay. Right. So you will be assessed on how well you use the stimulus provided, how well you developed and organize the content of your essay, or in this case, a piece. Use language appropriate to your audience. That don't mean to, if you see two Jamaicans in one picture, go use patois. No. Use appropriate grammar, sentence structures, paragraph, vocabulary, spelling and punctuation. Again, please ensure that they're there. Now I want to start with the picture because the picture tells a lot without saying a word. And I want to hear the varying perspectives. I want at least 5 people to tell me what is going on in this picture. 5 people.
Over to you. So like
5
what's
people.
going on, or like a story we could write from it?
Well, either, but tell me what you get from the picture so you can develop your story.
Sir, what I'm getting from this picture is like a hurricane or something occurred and their parents died and he's forced to take care of his younger sibling. That's what I'm getting from this picture.
Okay, all right. Anybody
Excuse
else?
me, sir.
It's giving street children poverty.
3 children? Wait.
Excuse me, sir.
I'm basically getting Haiti vibes.
Are you hearing me?
Wait, I'm hearing 3 voices. All right, so yes, I'm hearing you. It's giving.
Say it's giving street children
It's
poverty.
giving. What?
Yes.
It's giving. All right, guys, it's giving. What else is it giving? Go on, guys. Let me hear you. Anthony, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Based on what I'm seeing, it seems like an abandoned area, and there are 2 children. The older one is actually seems to be responsible for the baby, and they on a day-to-day basis they would go to. It seems like a beach area, so that would be a place they would normally go and relax in this undeveloped environment. So
All
that's
right, let
what
me
I
ask
see
that
in the
question,
photo.
Anthony. Although I like that perspective, why I might have a little bit of a problem with this is that I think, because although 2 things, guys, although yes, it's your perspective, I want the examiner to also get that perspective, because if they don't, they might feel as if you are missing the thing. So essentially, write as well for the examiner, okay? Because if they can't see your perspective, they're going to think that you misinterpreted the picture. And I don't want that, right? Although I understand your perspective, another person marking a paper might not. Okay? You understand what I'm saying, Anthony?
Yes, sir, I understand.
So try a bit. I want to hear a different perspective from you. Try again. Curtis, let me hear what you say.
Sir, yeah. I was saying that personally, for an image like this, I'd write my story a bit more on the extremely tragic side. Not too much, but it would probably go something like parents, they live in poverty already. Their parents died in a fire. I could say that's where they are right now is where the house used to be, and that's the rubble. And because the whole area is poverty stricken, there is nobody that could take them in. So now the older have to take care of the younger child.
Okay.
Something along those lines.
Okay. So what I also want you guys to do is use up your the box that you get to jot down your points that you want to write about. Yeah? And remember, it's 400 to 450 words, which is relatively a lot. So remember to be as descriptive as possible. Talk about how the scenario might have unfolded and such. Raven, go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So I would say, like in my story, I would say like it was okay outside, like the weather was okay outside, and then all of a sudden, like rain was coming down and stuff, like heavy, and the mother realized that it was a hurricane, and like they would have a dungeon or something like in their house, and they would put the kids inside the the two kids, and the I would write as the oldest child point of view, and I would say like he was scared and all of that, and he was hearing his parents screaming and all of that. And when it was over, he came outside and the whole place was destroyed and all of that. So yeah, something like that.
Okay, all right. It's an interesting perspective. I like that. I like that. So you're going the natural disaster route. I'd prefer an earthquake though. Reason being you can see the destroyed rubble.
Sir, but I wouldn't do the natural disaster. Reason being,
Okay,
there are
that's
other
fine.
buildings that are standing still. So would I go with the person we say like the children in house get damaged? Would I go with that?
Okay, I mean that's fine as well, no guys. That's fine as well because I remember it's your perspective, so that's absolutely fine as well. That's absolutely fine as well. Any other person? I'm seeing, Lord God, 2 hungry homeless children wondering where the next meal is coming from. All right, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
So you'd have to elaborate on that. One second, Andre. Sir, it's Haiti's economy right now. Lord Jesus, don't say that. Jesus God. Same thing, Mister. Help the creativity. My only worry about that is imagining if a Haitian marker gets your paper, because remember it's a Caribbean exam. So I would not necessarily name countries. Just saying. Just I wouldn't do it. So because remember, it's not just Jamaican markers marking papers, okay? Yeah. So not just the Jamaican markers. Yeah. So nationalists might get a tad mark down, probably mark up. Yeah. So I would I would be very selective of using countries or naming countries. Yeah, that's just me still. Andre, what do you say?
Sir, I was saying that like probably like the parents put the children on the road, right? And force them to pose as like homeless children so they get money from people passing by.
Interesting. That's a nice perspective. How would you develop that though?
I'll figure it out in the exam.
You'd figure it out. But remember this is after you've written the summary, written the expository, written and then you're writing up, guys. Remember time management is key, I beg you please. Use the selected time that they give you. Ensure say them suggest 30 minutes to do the summary. Do not pass 25. Please. Time management is going to be very key. Okay. But that's a nice perspective though, Andre. I like that. Their house, 1 second, Lemar. Their house got removed due to new construction in the area, causing the parents to separate and abandon the children. Whoa. That's a nice perspective, Tony. So you'd probably try to talk about the impact of what's it called, economic development. But again, Farah says, what if their mother has a looked down upon job, and the kids are forced to leave their home, by their mother while she works? Interesting. I'd like to see how that would have been developed. The effect of poverty on children. Again, remember it's a story, guys. So it's not necessarily an essay. Remember, it's not an essay, it's a story. So you'd have to develop it in a prose. Yeah. Lemar, what are you saying now?
Oh, that's what I was saying, sir. I did kind of change it up a bit in the mock exam, sir. I used the image to like talk about a main concern, like a general problem, sir. So like that image, I would say like the effect of poverty on the children,
Remember, it's a story, It's a story.
Sir, remind them that it's not social study.
Yeah. Yes, please. No, it's a story, not an essay. Please don't get it mixed up. Story, not an essay. So I don't want you guys to go into the exam and think that you're going to be debating anything about how poverty is affecting the youth of the generation and the politics not going on good. No, it is a story. You will get 0 and wonder why you get 3. No, it is a story. Do not void what them say. All right? Please be careful of that. All right? Any other perspectives?
So just a question. Say the little child and his son, is it just me or does that child have kwashioka? I've been looking at it for a while.
Wait, repeat what you said?
Is it me or does that child look like they have kwashioka? I've been looking at it for a while.
Yo, that kind of.
I really don't know.
Sir, we just pre-said this another picnic on the
like, you know, they're homeless guys. Let's
She
not
could
talk
be
about
malnourished.
diseases.
She could be malnourished. They could even talk about the effect of diseases. Well, when I say like the effect of something, I don't necessarily mean to write an essay about it. Okay? What I mean by that is for you to write a story that talks about that speaks somewhat about it. Make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. I usually pick the line over the picture. All right, so let's go to that one now. So he wiped his eyes, he looked again at the screen and was sure he was not seeing right. No, he screamed, it's not true. Write a story which includes these lines.
So the first thing that comes to my mind,
One second. There were 2 other responses in the chat. A family going from rich to homeless and use rich life experiences in it. That was you, Joshua?
Yes, sir.
Not bad. I'd like to see how you develop that. Juniela says drug addict parents that abandon them and they start to fend for themselves. Another interesting point. So again, a lot of these sound like it would have been from the perspective of the child, correct? So if that is the case, you guys would have to do more of a narrative, talking more about, you know, from my perspective, which would have been the child. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
All right. So he wiped his eyes, he looked again at the screen and he was sure he was not seeing right. No, he screamed, it is not true. Write a story which includes I want to hear from you guys now about at least 5 persons.
Sir, the first thing that comes to my mind, sir, is him say one of his favorite artists dead on TV. So like the news of somebody that him can narrate dead.
Yeah.
Like that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Interesting. So how would you put that in a story?
Like we can like first we develop the characters, like the artist, we develop the artist and the person who idolizes the artist, right, sir? And then we talk about how them idolize the artist, and then we talk about how the artist dies and how it spread, and then we talk about the resolution, which we're gonna have to try to figure that out.
All right. That don't sound so bad. All right, cool.
Sir, so I did this already in a class. Somebody there like him have the one. I don't remember what me didn't name the character, but him love that one tree like and him brother.
A what? Hold on, what?
His brother. Him love
Yeah.
one tree like him always under the tree. Him just love the tree there. And like him brother go do it editing and computer stuff and then they go up on the strip and him brother like edit it that's the tree get cut down, right? So and me put in the line there when him brother send me a picture and something and me develop it and yeah.
Interesting perspective. Okay. All right.
I have one.
Go right ahead.
So it could have been him gamble the last time family like trust fund or something, and he must say, yeah man, this is it. And then when him take a start, the last number never match up to the ticket where him have, so him lose all of the money and him know what will happen next.
Okay. All right. Interesting points. Let me look at the chat real quick.
Sir, I have one.
All right. Hold 1 second, Raven. He saw a random video of someone falling off a building in a group chat. When he looked closer, he saw it was his sister. Jesus. Wow. Okay. All right. Interesting.
That kind of dark too, you know.
Kinda. Okay, so I thought maybe there's a school gossip page that threatens to expose the secrets of the senior class, and his secret is exposed. Interesting. Bro saw a ghost while watching his favorite TV show. I wrote a story on this already about a boy that didn't get accepted for a college that he applied, but his friend got accepted. So, also, I'm ready. Interesting. Or him invest in a big company and it crashed overnight, thus he lost all his money. Okay, true. All right, cool. Raven, go ahead.
Sir, can you put some like, would they mark it done for violence? Would they mark it done for violence?
For violence?
If you put too much violence,
yeah, if it's too much.
Oh,
I know
well,
that some
I would
magazines.
write like a mafia story, like, and like he's let's see, he's having a war with himself and his enemy, and somehow his child and his only child and his wife got kidnapped by the enemy, and they were spending months looking for them, and they're like, he's like getting videos every month of them getting tortured, and I wouldn't go in detail though, some part, and like this time he got a video that they died and he was crying and all of that. But mother Eddie nice.
Interesting perspective. All right.
Sir.
Uh-huh.
My teacher that you like if you avoid sensitive content like
Yeah,
certain
I was
things
just
like
about to say that. Yeah, no, you have some markers that are very sensitive towards violent topics. And again, you don't want to mark it down because of how a marker feels.
But sir, and them ask for details too, you know, sir.
Yeah, but that's where it going on. That's where it go. That's where it go.
It's just unfair.
That is one of my gripes with CXC. They ask for something, but they are not open to receiving everything. So you just have to take it as it is, essentially. So try your best to not upset the examiner or to bring any past to include any adult activity. You guys know what I'm talking about. Or any violence, any abuse, any drugs. Just try to keep it as PG as possible. Again, I know it's limiting your creativity, but it's an exam at the end of the day, and you have sensitive examiners. So yeah. Catelia and then Juniela, go ahead.
Sorry, it could be like a storyline. For example, like you're the head girl or head prefect of your school and you're doing a speech or something, and during the speech, like they release like something like broadcasting something across the whole school, and then you see like, I don't know, someone you see like you have a phone or something and it comes up, and then you're there trying, oh no, it's not true because it would damage your reputation.
Interesting. That sounds good. All right, cool. Juniela?
Somebody mentioned something similar. I was saying though, like, you apply for like a scholarship or something, and it actually come true. But sometimes I see some things that them say just look too good to be true or sound too good to be true. Just that level of excitement or disbelief. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. McLaren? That's a name. That's cool. Go ahead.
It's McLaren. Sir,
wait, hold on. That's your real name?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's so cool. I like that. That's cool. All right, go ahead.
So, sir, it could be that a friend invited you to a party, but something happened, so you didn't get to go. And then later on in the night, you were watching the news and you saw that it was your friend that died in an accident.
That's interesting. That's interesting. 1 second, guys. All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, where are we now? So a lot of hands. All right, McLean, that was a good one. Omar. Wait, hold on. McLean, did you go already?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Omar, go ahead.
You apply for a scholarship, sir. That you apply for a scholarship thinking he's not going to get it, but later down in the time, sir. He's surprised. He's surprised that he got the scholarship to go to his university of his choice. So.
Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. All right, so some good responses. What's some good responses even in the chat? All right, cool. Let's look at the last one, the description. As far as the eye could see, there were long lines of people from all over the neighborhood, heading down the hill towards the town center. Follow one stream of the crowd and describe what you saw and heard as they walked, and describe in particular what you saw and heard as the stream reached the destination. This is where I want to hear some people now. Well, go on.
Sir, what if there was a street fight?
All right. So listen to me now. If you're choosing the description, I want to see nothing short of descriptive words.
See, a street fight, no, describing a street fight that might make you lose some marks, you know, because that's bloody and gory.
It can be. It can be. It can be.
I better say like a competition keeping, sir.
What type of competition?
Or what if there's a celebrity, you know?
Something like that too.
Okay. Okay. So how would you explode the descriptiveness, the descriptions? What would you guys say? What would you guys do?
Sir, for me, sir, I would describe the competition, sir, and I would also describe what type of competition it is and what taking place, sir. I would also describe the audience, like, you know, their reactions, like how they're acting, and their attitude towards the competition as well, sir. And try to develop that.
Okay, interesting. I like that perspective. Anybody else? Anybody else?
So you could have a situation where like a politician finally enters a new constituency, right, sir? And the members of the constituency finally get the water that they were voting for, if you understand what I'm saying. They say they were out of water for a while, and various, like the same government is in power and they haven't got the water, and they finally vote for the other side, right? And they get water.
Oh, all right, interesting. I like that perspective. But for the description, how descriptive would it be in that scenario?
Well, sir, I could go on and tell like the various stories I hear walking down the road of people saying how many days they have gone without bathing, like the struggles they go through to get water, and things of that nature.
Okay, all right. So how would you describe the stream and walking down towards a specific destination? What's the build-up behind that?
The build-up would have been like, sir, so everybody is in anticipation, sir, of seeing this new pump center to see the running clean water that they can use. And everybody is kind of like walking down, everybody has a smile on their face, they're glad. And the children are running up and down, excited to see water. Everybody's walking with their jugs to full. And, you know, like that's what I picture in my mind.
Okay, all right. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Michaela?
Okay, so sir, I would say a politician entered a poor community. I know he was giving out free resources and stuff like that. And I would describe the people as very grateful, the children excited, running around, and maybe they'll be pushing each other out of the way to try to get to the, free resources, because remember, these people are poor and they need the resources. So they would be, pushing each other out of the way, and there'll be like a little bit of violence, but nothing major.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Anybody else?
Sir, like supernatural events, like something which is rare, which haven't happened like hundreds years ago, happened in a town, and it happened in the crowd, so people will be going directly in one direction away from what's happening. And
so what would be that supernatural event?
It could be a supernatural event like the coming of Christ, or
whoa. Okay, continue. Let me hear it. That one's nice. Let me hear it.
Yes,
Continue.
sir. And in that particular moment, everyone will be like there within the supernatural event. There's also natural disasters like earthquakes and etc. And people will be trying to run away from what's happening. And while that's happening, there is a lot of screaming, noise coming from the crowd. So that's my point of view.
Okay. All right. That's nice. Catelia?
Sir, movie. I'm sorry about that, sir. There may be like a new law, let's say like a new law was passed or something, and they're gathering like at the town center to discuss it. Maybe it's something that the people are very angry about. So they're walking, and basically everyone's cursing, and everybody have different points of view, saying if it's right or wrong. Like you have different sides. Maybe some persons are for the person that's in leadership, like JLP versus PMP or something like that. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Sugar?
Yes, sir. Yeah, sir. Sir, could I use an example like when the traffic whatever was going on months ago, sir, and so like one TVJ what them people
Reporter?
yes, reporter, thanks. One TVJ reporter, and Jamaicans are, so could I use that as an example? You are a reporter on the scene, and all of the people in crowd off, we get through, sir, and they just arrive. Hold on, sir.
I'm hearing you.
You have just arrived, and there are already crowds of persons waiting to get through, sir. And you as a reporter, you want to get a job done. So yeah, you are following the stream of the crowd, and yes, sir, to get. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Some good perspectives. All right. So again, this part is all up to you guys. I don't know what I can say to guide you apart from ensure that you follow the instructions, ensure that you select your best fit question, your best fit comment. Curtis, you had something to say?
No, sir.
Okay. Right.
There are some good one in the chat. You can
There's
read
some
through
good
the
ones
chat.
in the chat.
Yes.
Oh my. Michaela, while walking with the crowd, assumptions were being made that their long-loved MP had decided to leave the constituency and not deliver on the promise for book vouchers, and the people of the community were marching to the MP's office as they couldn't believe their MP would abandon them, only to reach the office and discover that their beloved MP was there to deliver on a long-awaited promise to them. Interesting. 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 Visiting a circus. Interesting. Oh wait, I think that was for the one before. Or it could be for this one. I think so. Yes, guys. So all in all, this is your section. Yeah. It could be a street dance competition occurring. So again, what I also want you to focus on, a question like this, it's to describe what you saw and heard as they walked. So you're supposed to describe the people around you and describe and what you saw and heard for you as the stream reached their destination. Good? So it's a very descriptive piece if you choose the description. Yeah? So remember that. Now we're going to be looking at the persuasive or the argumentative piece, right? This is very important for us to analyze because this is the last section, section D. Yeah? And what is the main goal here? And it's simply to either convince or persuade and sway the reader as to why X is better than Z. In other words, why you are right and the other person is wrong. Good? Hold on. I have to read this. Maybe some defending a person like it's stone's throw. Or the town is polluted, including the central area that is the main source of water for the people. The water has the smell of sewage upon the cleansing, or upon the cleansing water department, the people were told to get in a line. However, the rotten stench caused an uproar. Interesting perspective. Again, remember to describe what you see and hear. Good? All right, so what is the goal here as well as for the persuasive piece? Remember to explain as to why one is better than the other. Good? How do we go about writing the persuasive piece, the section D? The first thing is to make it clear your viewpoint or your stance or your opinion, right? Second thing, provide clear reasons as to why you see it that way, right? Don't just say, see it that way then and that's it. Ensure that there are reasons as to why you see it that way. Provide contrasting but not defeating opinions. Why I specifically put but not defeating. In other words,
basically, you don't want to contradict yourself.
Exactly, you don't want to contradict yourself. Like this. Say, for example, you're now to debate as to why water is better than juice. You are of the view that juice is better than water. If you're going to say to me as one of your main points that juice tastes so much better, on the contrary, many might believe that it is very, very sweet and bad for your health. But I believe juice is still better than water. Is that a valid point?
Sure, juice is better than water.
Shh, Katilia, stop.
No. Hold on. Tell me now, Katilia, why is juice better than water?
You tell us.
Sir, it's just better. I'm sorry.
And Katilia, let me tell you two things. You avoided number 2 provide clear reasons as to why you see it that way. And if you don't do that, that means that you have no argument. If you have no argument, that means that I have an argument and then I win. Right,
So
Curtis?
can I make my stance on that thing, sir?
Go right ahead, Curtis. Let me hear you.
Yes, I'm telling you why water is better than juice. One, it it let me give you something that I experienced personally. The more water I drank, the less bumps there were on my face. It didn't a lot to begin with, but it definitely reduced the amount. Two.
Okay, all right. Stick up in there, Sir Curtis. Stick up in
Yes,
there,
sir.
Curtis. I want somebody else who is on Team Juice to explain to me as to why juice is better than water. So Curtis gave one defending argument for that. So somebody on Team Juice. I don't know if Juniela will represent. Juniela, are you on
Sir,
Team
repeat
Juice?
the question.
All right. So Curtis gave one reason as to why water is better than juice. I think his reasoning was a health benefit, specifically for the skincare, about water cleansing the skin instead of the contrary, juice being a reason as to why you might get a lot of acne. So, Team Juice, how would you give me an argument to support that?
Well, sir, I'm not team juice, but I do have a point, sir. Sir, because juice, sir, can be made with preservatives, sir, juice, nutrients, minerals, all them things they can be added to juices to make them more flavorful.
So, is that a supporting argument for water or for juice? Remember, you have to be clear.
It's just a point, sir. Anyone.
Okay. Yes, Tariq is being recorded. It's currently live on YouTube and it will be posted right after the session is finished. Juniela, go ahead.
Sir, I'm saying that all right, so as the
Hold on. Before you say something, are you Team Juice or Team Water?
all right, I let me say juice. All right, so
Okay.
it's a case where she just mentioned something close to it, where she said that you have like different type of juice, right? You have sodas, you have like fruit juice, and all the type of juice that has like different benefits and different nutrients and all of that. So yes, water is good and whatever. You have juice also that can provide the body with like vitamins, and all the different nutrients. So it's not juice is bad, like bad, but it's just the type of juice.
Okay. All right. A Bennett. So guys, if you're gonna speak, open your mic and say what your stance is, because remember it's important to state your stance. So go ahead.
Sir.
My stance is for water. All
Okay.
right. My point here is that juice. All right, the thing with juice now is that most people on this planet, they drink juice for its flavor, and not just for its flavor, but for its taste. And to have something to be tasteful, it has to have sugar. What sugar does is that if you consume a lot of sugar, it will increase your possibilities of having diabetes and those type of illnesses. As for water, water is much more cleanse your body and having a clean kidney running. As for juice, it is most likely possible to have a kidney failure because you're consuming a lot of sugar because of the juice. But in contrast, the water doesn't make that happen. The waters purify your kidney.
All right, I like that. But one tiny problem with that is that you stated that most people drink water for the taste.
Yes, sir.
Drink juice for the taste, I should say. What you made was a claim What I would want is speculating. And speculation is not necessarily the best argument because somebody can easily falsify that, right?
Sir.
So, although that was a very good claim, yeah,
Sir,
it
you
would
know
have
that.
been better received if it was backed up a bit more. I'm not saying that you're going to have time in the time or the research, we say, oh, according to doctor, this or that. But try and find some convincing argument to say, just something to try and back it up.
Sir.
Mhm.
One thing is that, sometimes when you have like blood sugar, like normally it's recommended, like when your blood sugar drop like too low or whatever, you can drink a little bit of, whatever juice or something that's not too sweet that may bring it up too high or whatever, just so, put it on a normal level or, yes, because the blood sugar can drop really low and you can't use water to carry it up back. So, yeah.
All right. What I want now, guys, I want everybody to pause the chat for a bit, because you guys are saying some really good things in the chat as well that I really want to point out. I want everybody to think of if you were put on the stance, yeah, you were put on the stance, and you are a worldwide representative. In other words, you alone are gonna make a huge decision that's gonna impact the whole world, right? You are supposed to provide 3 reasons as to why everybody supposed to either drink juice only or water only. Find 3 good reasons as to why them supposed to drink water only or juice only. And that decision, depending on how persuasive your response is, will be the new norm going forward for the whole world. Think about that. Find, in other words, your best arguments to defend either water or juice, because that should be the most persuasive you can be. Am I making sense? Everybody understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
When you do that, you stretch your limit to find the most persuasive argument that you can. And that is what the examiner is looking for, the most persuasive things. So yes, it tastes good. Apart from taste, separate and apart from the taste, water, as some might say, has the health benefits, right? Juice can even have even more health benefits, when you're talking about vitamins and minerals and what have you, right? So you know, are to find, if you're team water, you talk about 3 of your most convincing arguments and 1 contradictory argument, but not a defeating argument. Just like how I said, you can't tell me say juice is the best thing for you, but then talk about, no, they can't tell me that water is, wait, what was I saying? They can't tell me that juice is so good for you, but then it can't, you gotta tell me, although multiple juices are loaded with sugar, I still believe that juice is the best option, right? I'm not saying I'm team water, right? But if I'm going to be team juice, I can argue and say water is can flush away a lot of good vitamins that your body needs. So again, it is now for you to pick 2 or 3 very, very, very convincing arguments and defend those arguments. So when I say you provide your contrasting but not defeating opinions, why some people might have a concern, and pick the loudest concern. Not only the loudest concern, but an easily falsifiable concern. That is a concern that you are able to say, and I say it go. I said a lot of words. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying so far? Am I making sense?
So, sir, so come with two ideas for support your claim and your claim only, and then come with one that people come with one that like a lot of people might have a concern about, and then like falsify basically.
Yes. Or you can even come up with three. I prefer come with three supporting arguments, and then one contradictory that you can falsify.
Okay.
Make sense? So come with three good arguments. Yeah? Three good, solid arguments. And then you provide a contradictory one that many persons share the same view about. And then you can say, oh, but this is better. I see somebody type something in the chat. I think Michaela's team water. So she says, one, water is vital to life, making up 70% of the human body. Fact, right? Good. Water is superior to juice as it does not require any added sugar or preservatives. Fact. Excellent. And without water, how can you cook? How would you clean? How would you shower? The question is, can you shower with juice? Can you cook? Can you clean with it? This to me, if media market, you get 10 out of 10. Because you even use something that I'm going to point out. I want to see a juice response to this. All right, so Michaela perfectly defended the water, so I don't want a water response. I want a juice claim now to this. Let me see somebody who write a juice claim to this. Excellent job, Michaela. I want a juice claim to this. So somebody defend juice for me. Are they going to type it in the chat, or are you going to anyways, I can cook with the oil. Anyway, anyway, that's you know what? They can cook with juice. Catilia oil was not in the scenario. We're talking about juice. How will you wash the rice? See it there? Okay, I'll just shut it down left, right, and center. But I want a juice defense. All right, so Carlington look like show here. All right, so depending on the type of juice, it can be a good source of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that are essentially for good health. For example, orange juice is a good source of vitamin C, which is important for the immune system function and health. All right, so that's a good one. So that's a good one there, so. That's a good one there, so. So what I want you to do, even Carlington, what I want you to not do is say that orange juice is loaded with sugars, because that will defeat the purpose, okay? So although you know say it full of sugar, do not say that, because that's a defeating argument. Getting what I'm saying? Akira says some juices, such as orange juice, contain vitamin C, which helps to prevent deficiency disease, such as scurvy. 2, most juice contain sugar, which can give energy to the body when broken down into glucose when food is unavailable. All right. 3, juice is beneficial as it provides antioxidants that water cannot provide. All right. Go ahead, Curtis.
Are we not talking about drinking water or juice for the rest of our lives? So with all these benefits and whatever of juice, does anybody really think? Hold on, sir.
Bio students are active, very much
Yes,
so.
Does anybody really think that they can drink juice every day for the rest of their life?
That is their view. That is their view.
It's just an essay, Curtis.
It's
just an essay, no, bro.
That's their view. No, well, but even so, Curtis, even so, that's their view. That's their view.
Sir, but water is a basic need, so juice team don't lose the side.
Exactly.
Juice don't have in water? Okay.
Juice, without water, there's no juice.
Exactly.
That is true. I was waiting for something like that, you know.
Brother,
I was waiting to say something like that.
How you gonna make
It's
the
a
juice without
basic
water?
need. Like, come on now.
How
I
you gonna
was
mix it tank
waiting to see
without
something like
water?
that.
Mix up your Kool-Aid.
Exactly. I was waiting to see something that had been given. Number one, without water, there's no juice. One, and water is a basic need. Two strong points.
Exactly.
Two
My Bila
strong
said
points. You need
exactly.
water to make juice. So
Well,
essentially,
sir,
what?
sir, while I am team juice, if I was doing this exam, I would definitely write about water. But I
Have
am
to.
still team juice.
Have
Yeah.
to.
Water is just the strongest point to talk about.
It is.
Water
You
is the
can
goat.
extract the water from the juice. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Akila, that's a fair point. That is a fair point. But again, how pure can the water be post extraction? That is how I could have fight it back.
Well, sir,
How expensive
fractional
would that be?
distillation.
All right. So see there. I'm wrong there. So again, if you're going to make your points, make them strong and make them that you can defend them. Make sense?
Sir, me I say no. Like when you have the exam, you pick the side where you have more knowledge about. Like, you know.
And that is what I always suggest. I always suggest that. Water has its own place on the nutrients triangle. Again, if you're more comfortable defending that position, you know. But again, you see, Michaela, those are some really good points, as well as Carlington and Akila. And I really wanted. So do you see now how you can balance it on two sides? Although juice has many more nutrients than water, manufacturers may overload these juices with many additives, which can do more harm than good. So that is an easy point there, Farah, that you can use and clap back. Easy. So again, it only depends on which side you choose, right? And I'm not saying that I don't love juice, guys. Don't get me wrong. I love juice. Everybody loves juice. Everybody loves water. But if it comes down to a situation where you have to pick one, that is how persuasive you have to be. And that is how persuasive I want you guys to be in it, essay. Where you can debate in your head and say, boy, this is a clear-cut one. Am I making sense, guys?
Well, sir, as a biology student, none of them should be the right answer because you need both of them.
Okay, we're doing English language. So we're doing
Exactly. We don't know where you're going science,
English language. Okay, chemist with a fractional whatever, distillation and thing there. We're doing English language. Yes. Chadilia, if you drink too much water, your kidney will not be able to get rid of the excess, disrupting the natural secretion process. Drinking the juice, all right. Juice does contain a certain amount of water, and studies show that it can help to quench your thirst. Even though water helps to create juice, juice is full of flavor and desired by the masses. 1 second. Juice provides nutrients. A fruit punch packs a punch. Juice can substitute solid meals. Good arguments. Peter said juice offers more nutritional benefits than water, including essential minerals and vitamins. Its flavor, all right. Nutrients you can get, all right. When you drink enough water, your body locks the moisture for a period of time. This in turn provides your skin to see them. So guys, we have a lot of arguments can go either way. But again, when you're doing the contradiction, the one contradiction, in short, don't defeat the whole thing. All right. The examiner at the end of the day should think to themselves, boy, you know, say juice really better than water, or boy, you know, say juice really better, water really better than juice. Make them have to contemplate it in them head and say, boy, yeah, man, you deserve a 30 marks. Joshua, were you gonna say something? Or who was gonna say something? Nobody? Okay. And in fact, in order to make juice, water is required.
Excuse me, sir.
Go right ahead.
Sir, when we were talking previously about the format, sir, for introductory paragraph, sir, in that point, anyway, so in that point, right, sir, we should include like what we're against, sir. So for instance, we'd say that this is what we are for, so we're for like water, but this is why we're against this, and then we go into the 3 reasons why we are with water, sir.
Right. So in selecting your stance, you firmly reject the other option, right? So you make clear your viewpoint, right? To ensure that they know, say, I'm team water, and you firmly reject the notion that juice is better, right? So as point 4 says, the whole aim of this is to push your agenda, push your belief, make it known that this is the better option. Irrespective of what nobody else wants to think, that is a better option. So, guys, it then pushes me to talk about this. It is not a pursuit without the use of persuasive techniques. And why I was really impressed by Michaela's own is because I saw the use of persuasive techniques. Although, I didn't tell you guys to write a full-on thing, but when she spoke about, let me find it. Point 3. Everybody can go to the chat and see what Michaela put. Point 3. And without water, how would you cook? How would you clean? How would you shower? The question is, can you shower with juice? Can you cook? Can you clean with it? No. And two brilliant persuasive techniques there. Repetition, right? Or not only repetition, but rhetorical questions, right? Everybody know what a rhetorical question is, right?
Yes,
a question that is done strictly for. Go ahead, Joshua.
A question that is not meant to be answered, sir. Like the answer is basically obvious.
Exactly so. So it's not necessarily meant to be answered, but it's normally done for one of these 3 reasons here. It forces your audience to think, right? And when you intertwine rhetorical questions with repetition, it is excellent. Why that so? Can you cook with it? Can you clean without it? Can you do that without it? It's not only emphasizing your point, not only does it evoke emotion, because you can feel the passion behind it. You can feel the emphasis of the point, and it also now forces me to really think, so I really need the water for real. So these rhetorical questions, just the first one, paired with the repetition, is a perfect use of a persuasive technique there, so right? Perfect. Let's look at another one. Talk to me.
Sir, me that said too, like they must say juice itself, as in you could have used the fruit itself if you look for nutrients.
See it there?
Eat the fruit itself.
See it there? Another defeating point. So you can even talk about the fact that although many might argue that there are not a lot of natural blends and fruit-based drinks that provide a lot of sources for good vitamin C, many studies show that it would have been better to actually eat the fruit, because the fruit, just take orange for example. The time it take for not only squeeze out the orange juice, them say I don't know if a country, but then say when you eat the orange belly and anything there, it's much better than way there, because the roughage and the fiber that you get from it. My biologists and chemists, you can prove me wrong in the comments. But
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying?
That's correct, sir.
Thank you very much. So see there? So things like that you can argue with. So team juice, boy, it's rough out there for you, I'm not lie, but some other persuasive techniques. Repetition. Right? Repetition. Claim. Jargon words. So again, for the chemist, if you don't want to talk about fiber and what have you, use up the jargon words, say sound like you know what you're talking. Yeah? The inclusive language. So say that we can all benefit from this. Talk about include the reader. Make me feel as if say, yo, water actually good for me. Me them and
Let's
talk
do
about
it.
it. Talk to me, Curtis.
Can we say, can I, even though I know that obviously we don't all agree, can I write? We can all agree that.
That's persuasive. Yeah. But make sure that's very universal point though. Right? If you're saying like we can all agree that we need water to survive, that's a very universal point. But we can't all say that we can all agree that water tastes better than juice. You understand what I'm saying, Curtis? So ensure that it's a perspective that can be shared. All right? Hyperbole, which is the exaggeration. Right? The anecdotal evidence. So that's you talking from your perspective, or so that you say you know a friend, we know a friend, or know a friend, we drink water. If that you want to use, fine. Bias. Again, as for me, water is perfect. Water has everything. So there's nothing wrong with being biased in a, why? Because it's persuasive. It's from your perspective. Right?
Sure,
Expert opinion. Talk, yes, Curtis?
What do you call your own opinion again?
Huh?
What do you call your own experience with it?
The anecdotal evidence?
No. It's a different word.
It being subjective?
No, sir. Anyway.
I
mean,
so you can use your perspective, your opinion, your point of view.
Nah, it's nowhere near that. But anyway, sir. Personal reason why I don't drink is because a couple months ago I was drinking like juice, and I realized that I was falling asleep in basically all of my classes. So
sugar overload.
So my bio teacher came to me and said, Curtis, you need to cut down on the sugar intake. So I tried it for a couple weeks and everything good now, sir. I don't feel
So see
tired.
there? That's your personal opinion. That's your I know the word you're talking about, my Curtis.
Exactly. The word they say. You know.
Yes. All right. So we can agree it's the word. Yes, I know that word they're talking about. Yes, I know the word they're talking about. It won't come to me. Yes. So I don't know if it's perspective, but it's from your point of view. Right. Yes, Katilia, go ahead. And then A Bennett.
Sir, even if you don't buy it, everybody know that you get energy from carbohydrates. And you know that's glucose. So that's Curtis's problem because it does give us energy.
You repeat?
She was basically saying that it is a universal a universal it's universally accepted that you gain energy from carbohydrates. I don't know how true that is. So I guess again, chemists, biologists, you guys can argue
that is true, but I don't know.
So
that is true, but I don't know what the issue was, sir.
All right. So that is why you guys have a chat section.
Because guess what? I tried and it worked.
That's your that's your perspective. That's your anecdotal evidence. So you are supposed to now convince the reader through your experience, right? As to why it's just better for you. Because remember, it's from your perspective. Hey Bennett, what do you have to say?
Sir, I was asking, when you write and you include your own like experience, what would that be?
Your opinion.
Is that okay? And you can use that in persuasive
Of course, it's persuasive.
Okay, sir, because just as I'm not sure who it was a while ago, they were speaking and they mentioned that when they were drinking juice, they were falling asleep in class. That happened to me up till like last Friday, just yesterday. Like I ate my food, I was fine, and I drank like a box of orange juice and I fell asleep. So
yeah. although it might not be the most convincing argument, because it could just be said the tire that did it. Get what I'm saying? It might not be the most convincing argument. I wouldn't necessarily use it as the most convincing argument, because somebody could easily say, "Oh, you probably just tired that did it." Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
what if I said I did? What if I included that for
So-
every day that I didn't drink juice, I didn't fall asleep, like during class?
Well, you see, because it only happened to you, them can say it's a you problem. You see what I'm saying? That's what they can say.
Sir, or they can say are the type of juice we are drink.
Oh, exactly so. So if you can find, say, a study was done with a group of students where their regular water intake was replaced with juice for a week, and then their studies showed that everybody started falling asleep in a school.
Sure, I can explain, sir.
Or what you could even talk about, if the water versus juice argument was a thing, was that that is why the government of Jamaica is now pushing to take sugary drinks out of school. That is an extremely convincing argument.
Sure, I can
Right?
explain, sir. So the thing is, the insulin is a hormone that basically levels your blood sugar. Okay. The thing is that when your sugar intake goes up, so does your insulin so does the amount of insulin in your blood. What that can cause that can actually cause the blood sugar levels to drop back, but drop too low, which can give you a sugar crash. So that can make you feel sleepy.
So see there, expert opinion. You're using a jargon word. You're using your claims. See there, hey Bennett.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you didn't have something else to say? Oh, okay, your hand is still up.
Sir, Max says,
Go ahead, Abigail.
if you drink more water, it reduce the chances of getting cavities, like rotten teeth.
If you what?
If you drink more water, you have less chance of getting cavity. If you drink bag of juice, your teeth them are rotten.
So what you need there, that's just a claim. To make it a bit stronger, you need some expert opinion. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because I can say if I drink juice, I feel like I just went to fly. You can't stop me from fly. But where is the evidence behind it? Get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So to make it a bit more convincing, it would be best suited with, I would make it. I would literally say Red Bull. Anyway, but yeah, yes, that it'd have been a bit more convincing if I had some evidence to back it up. Bennett, you had something to say, or the hand up from last time?
Yes, sir. I was just adding, you could definitely write about the health benefits as well as like the economic benefits, the environmental benefits, because a lot of mass producing juice. All right, let me give you an example. People are more likely to refill bottles of water at home or at another station rather than they are at going somewhere to refill a bottle of juice. You can't even refill a bottle of juice, being for real. It's not like you can finish the juice and go to the factory to refill your bottle of juice. And even if you did do that, that's a waste of your time and money. And so yeah, you could write about how it benefits, drinking water is more sustainable.
Well,
yeah, and it benefits
that's
the
another
environment.
convincing argument.
Because if people stop producing juice today and they cut out that whole output of plastic bottles coming out and all of the for juice, that's cutting down pollution. Even if it's not by a lot, it's toning it down a notch the same. Yeah.
Excellent. See there? So we have examples for kill. Right? All right, so let's quickly just look at this. Seeing that we had the water juice debate, I don't think we really need to tackle question 7 or 8, but just to look at it. So again, read the instructions, guys. So just the time 30 minutes. So try your best not to spend any more than that. So this is supposed to be 250 to 300 words in length. Must write in standard English. So even if you want to make a use your emotive language and such, ensure it's in standard English. Write your answer on the rule pages. Again, adhere to the word limit, blank page for your note taking, right? You're being marked for clarity, organization, and development of your argument. Again, if you use a lot of your personal experience, you might be marked down for the development of your argument, seeing that it's not factual or that can easily be falsified. So remember those. The correctness of grammar, spelling, and the usual, right? So either we do not need to be concerned about global warming or climate change. The environment needs no help from us. It can take care of your help. Are you team supporting or team opposing this view?
Team opposing.
Like the majority for this year, they were definitely team opposing. So again, you make your good 3 arguments and the one contradicting but not defeating argument. So yeah, so you guys would show me how you would do that. All right, a lot of them oppose.
Sir, question. When it says you must write in standard English, so like you know how some people like to spice up their writing, they like put a quote at the beginning. Does that have to be in standard English?
Yes, reason being, remember that you have regional, let me say, regional markers. So they might not necessarily understand patois. So if you want to say, if every mickle make a muckle, they might be saying, what are you saying? I don't understand this. 0. So for reference, try to use sayings that are in English or quotes that are in English, or English.
Sir, what if you can like explain? You can like explain what the quote I say? Like you'd write it and then you like
I wouldn't suggest that.
say wait it I say.
I wouldn't
Standard
suggest that.
English.
I wouldn't
Do
suggest
that?
that. I wouldn't suggest that, because seeing that they already placed so much emphasis on you must write in standard English, I don't want to tell you to go ahead with that, because I don't want you to lose some marks. So try your best to adhere to the standard English. Right. So a lot of persons oppose question 7. Yeah, I think a lot of some they would yeah. Are you feeling this heat? Would be it would it'll be funny but not opposing. Well, relatively, because are you alone could have feel the heat, Are you alone could have feel the heat?
So are you saying you're not feeling this heat?
I didn't say that.
That's exactly what I'm gonna answer.
I am feeling this heat. Everybody's feeling this heat. However, another person, just like the tourists who come here, they're saying, I'm loving this heat. So, it could be contradictory. But again, it depends on how you develop it, because that could have been a really good development if you develop it properly. So under 3 fan, the AC now help. Well, trust me, I totally understand. Question 8 is
sir, so you could probably say that the that whatever is happening, like global warming, all those stuff, it's not occurring because of natural causes, so it's caused by humans and all those things, sir.
So that can argue the point on the environment needs no help from us, right?
No, sir. Like for instance, so you're saying that what's occurring like deforestation, say deforestation is a main so it's like the cause of global warming, because then say after you cut down these trees, say you're gonna have to like burn the land, whatever, say so it's like a main cause, say so you
Right. So what I'm saying is that what you could say, because that would oppose this view, right? Oppose question 7.
Yes, sir.
So that specific point can argue what they're claiming, that the environment needs no help from us. Rather, it would have needed the help from us for us to, limit deforestation, promote afforestation. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Right. So that could have assisted that perspective. Curtis, you had something to say?
No, sir.
Okay,
I
Anthony?
have something to say. Yes, sir. I would support this view. Like, for example, the factories. When factory are producing goods and making goods from the raw materials, their fumes affects the atmosphere. Like cars would be generated by gas, and they release fumes as well. But in this new economy and this new system, there are cars using electricity. So I would say like the factories now releasing all of that fumes. I think we would try to come up with an eco-friendly system that wouldn't be able to damage the atmosphere no longer, as well as the deforestation thing, and have a safer environment for everyone in the world.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. All right.
Yes, sir.
Sir, my wallet, thank you, my question.
You said something, Curtis? All right, not really hearing. All right, so let's look at question 8. If the youth today appear lost, then the previous generations have somehow failed in their responsibilities to nurture their own offspring. Write an essay giving your views on this statement. First of all, do we support or oppose? That's a big question.
Oppose,
Support,
sir.
oppose.
I'm opposed.
Oppose.
Yep. Why oppose?
Sir, some
Sir,
are just bad breed. I'm sorry.
exactly,
Okay.
sir. Like I know your mother did not raise you like that, sir.
Sir, she said bad breed. Are your peer bad breed literally have to do it your parents who raise you, and who them raise you around.
Sir, but then again,
I support the Curtis.
What, sir?
sir,
I
then
support that
again,
view.
some of them parents never grow them the way they
Saying
would them
views,
go
can't
school,
we
they act
do
different.
both? What do you mean, Gabriel? Or Gabriel?
Sir, explaining on what she was just saying, sir. Say for instance, sir, you may grow up in a household where you follow rules and those stuff, sir, but like when you go on the road, sir, you're not doing what they like grow you to do. Say for instance, you are a mannerable young lady, say, and you go out on the road and you're opening your legs for the whole world to see, say. Example one. That's how, say.
So okay.
Sir?
So is that 1 second? Is that a parental raising children incorrectly problem, or is that a youth deciding their own whatever they
Yes,
want?
sir. So I think that's like a youth deciding, sir, because sir, it depends on how you look at it, sir. Because you could be saying that maybe because the youth, sir, they want a chance of freedom. So the one freedom that they might get, sir, and like they're doing it because they're treated like a child. Probably they think that they're being treated like a child, but to the parent, they're just trying to raise them properly, sir.
Okay. All right. That's a good
Sir,
perspective.
and then again, so my parents then can be too strict. So children them gonna act like them nice around them and behave properly, but when they go on the street, them a behave differently.
Okay.
But sir, sometimes they can get like good, like them parents raise them good,
But like when they go to school and knock head with the wrong set, then just get bad, you know.
That's how it is.
And so you can
Yeah,
also
Bennett?
sir, you can
Mhm.
also talk about the influence of social media, sir. How
Okay,
these
so that would have
people,
been an opposing viewpoint.
yes, sir.
Sir,
Like
and music, sir.
that
Okay,
too.
again, another opposing viewpoint. Catelia, and then A. Bennett, and then
Sir,
Curtis. Mm-hmm.
I really don't think, say in the previous generation, whether it's parents or like other relatives, because sometimes you're not aware of what's going on with your child, like when they leave home, for example, when they go to school or they go on the road, you probably think they're at XYZ, but they're at ABC. And what the way how they act at home is not the same way how they act around their friends. So you think you have this nice, innocent little child, and when they go around them bad breed. So it's like you don't know. So it's not your fault because you think you raised a good child. When they're around you are there at like gatherings or so, they act a specific way. But then when they're like they're not around you or anyone that knows you, they act differently. So it cannot be the fault of previous generations.
Okay. So you'd have to argue that properly.
Sir, I have a point.
Hold on. Wait. A. Bennett, then Curtis, and then the other person talking.
Sir, I am mixed views because I feel like a parent is responsible for growing their child in an environment where they feel comfortable and safe expressing how they're feeling. And so if a child is feeling lost, I think that it is the parents' responsibility for like when that child is being raised, that they feel comfortable going to their parent to express how they're feeling and what they can do about that child feeling that way. But at the same time, in our generation, with us being so like on social media this much and being like influenced by, like, even though we've always been being influenced by the persons around us, I feel like especially now where everybody is on social media and everybody is being influenced one way or another, I feel like at the same time it's not necessarily their fault if they allow their child some freedom to, like, say, be on social media and then something happens there and then they start to feel lost. Because, like, I feel like the people that the child is around isn't always the parents' choice. And so those people that child is around, like, they can make the child feel lost and like not comfortable going to their parents despite how they may have been raised. And so I'm mixed on it. But both, I think, are like points that I could, like, in an exam, I think I could develop something on both of them. But I feel like I could really develop something on parents, like having, like, ensuring that they make sure that how they raise their child, the child is comfortable to come to them. And so I feel like I could really, like, bring up a strong point on that in an exam.
Okay, interesting. I like that. Alrighty. Okay. And wait, I think it was Anthony then. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yes, sir. I have something similar to what Benny said before, but it's kind of different. So, you know, as child going into teenage years, they are developing, right? So most likely they will develop from their homes, right? So their mothers, their parents will teach them what to do and how should they do it and why should they do it. But when they go on the road, they will also develop their own perspectives from what they've seen out there. So it depends on how much they develop from homes, because if they develop from the home properly, you'll go onto the road and realize, and you would know what is right from wrong. But some children haven't been developing from their homes properly. So when you go out on the street and see certain things, they follow according to it because they do not know what to do. So that's my point.
Okay. All right. That's true. Carlington?
Yes, sir. Sir.
So my point is that children live what they learn, sir. So if they grow up and see their mother or their father scamming, sir, probably they will say, okay, this is all right for me to do, so I will do it. So they start to scam.
Wait, one second, Carlington. Curtis and Carlington. The generational influence. That's a good point. Very good point. Generational influence. Curtis?
Yes, sir. So hold on. This is kind of a very sensitive, but
Curtis?
Sir, you hear me, sir?
Not hearing you so well, Curtis. Not hearing you, Curtis. All right, let me read some comments while Curtis fixes mic. Yes. Parents don't think teenagers' problems are real problems.
Sir, you hear me now?
Much better.
Sir, you hear me now?
Much better.
Okay. As I was saying, a couple months ago, me and my friends noticed something about girls that were raised on in a strict household. When I say strict, I mean the okay. Like I said,
You gone again, Curtis. Curtis? Not hearing you. I wonder if there's a reason as to why we're not hearing Curtis, as to why. You know? If Curtis goes to something well, that going to upset
Sir, it's
everybody.
because of what he's about to say.
That is what
That's
I'm
why we
nervous
can't
about.
hear him.
That is what I'm nervous about. Curtis? Mine is God working.
Wait, what you say?
Mine is God work as to why you might not work on it. Because all of the girls in the chat are now
Sir,
ready to
I'm
hear you.
just gonna open up my mic just to, be prepared, sir.
Boy,
Right, like
Curtis, my nervous for you, my youth. I'm not lie, my
sign,
nervous
dog.
for you.
Yo, Curtis,
Nervous
dog.
for you, my youth.
Money for your money,
Sure you
dog.
want to, you know, Curtis,
Well,
come and move on. Come and move on.
Curtis, dog.
You know what?
Come and move on.
I've read.
Curtis, go to your
All
boat,
right,
then,
see
brother.
that? See that? It better move on. So, guys, Curtis, God just do you a favor, you know.
no, sir, no one want here.
No, man, Curtis.
No, sir, make him expound on what he
No,
was
man,
to say,
no, man,
sir.
I'm tired,
make
man.
him tend to
Curtis,
him
you're tired,
goats,
don't.
no? Make him
You're
go
tired,
to
don't,
him
Curtis.
goats. My goats to take care of, brother.
You're
Them have
tired, man.
goats to
You're
take
tired.
care of.
You're tired, Curtis.
Don't
Don't
need
worry,
to
man.
hear.
Don't make them peer pressure. You're tired. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. You see, it might not work properly. So it go.
Sir, I think
So
it's
it go.
best to sit this one out. Yeah.
Bench him. Just bench him. Just
No,
bench him.
sir, he can type it in the chat.
No, man, I'm good, man.
Him have a farm to look at,
Curtis.
brother. Him have a farm.
Guys, Curtis breaking up, so I can't even hear him. It's all right. So I go, Joshua. We can't hear him.
Curtis has goats to take care of.
Never mind.
Yes, guys. So with all this said, I'm tempted to repost the poll, and I'm hoping now that we're feeling much better as it pertains to the exam. So I'm going to relaunch the poll, and I want to hear from everybody now. How are we now feeling after this? Because we got through enough while ago. So I'm hoping that I'm gonna feel a little better now, because I'm gonna do the exam again. Guys, when is the exam?
Week after next.
May 16.
May 16. I also have 10 days.
On the Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. sharp.
9 a.m. sharp.
That's kind of sad still, you know.
No, man, it
I
good.
have book a flight to Mars before then.
That's how it is.
Come on.
But seeing these poll results now, seeing that absolutely nobody said ready before, and now I'm having at least over 50% saying that they're ready now, and the remainder being somewhat ready. I am very, very confident now. So any comments, questions, concerns? Anything before we wrap up now? What time is it now? 8:06. Enough time, listen, guys, over 3 hours, almost 4 hours. Wow.
So I have a quick question.
Go right ahead.
Will you be doing more lives like this for other subjects?
Yes. Not me, but others.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. And the paper one session will be, yes, I can send the presentation in the group. Chem was last year. But what you guys can do is that we kind of condensed this year as it pertains to our offerings. That's NJ. But what you can do is visit the YouTube channel that we're currently being streamed on, and you can go under the playlist, and there are a lot of subjects that we did last year that you can watch through. That's chemistry, bio, all of them, physics. Yeah, so you can look through them and go through them at your leisure. So with that being said, our paper one session will come up very, very soon, and that session I know will be a very good session because I love paper one. So with that being said, guys, any final comment, question, concern before we close off?
Sir. Sir, can Curtis just close us off with what he was gonna say, sir?
Can we not? Can we?
Curtis,
can we just make him?
Curtis, they wanted to close off in prayer.
Can
Hold
he
on,
go to
hold
his
on.
goats?
No, man, Curtis, they wanted to close off in prayer.
Oh, him have
That is what
goats
they
to
wanted to
milk,
close off,
brother.
Curtis.
Him have goat for milk. Him have goat to milk. Curtis, go milk your goats. Curtis, go milk your goats. Curtis,
Eh?
go
So
milk
hold
your
on,
goats.
no. Everybody bow your heads and close your eyes while Curtis pray. Come, Curtis, just offer a quick word of prayer.
Prayer time.
Right,
Yeah. Just offer a quick word of prayer, Curtis. Bow your heads and close your eyes, everybody. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Curtis.
Lord, I thank you for waking us up this morning, Lord, and I thank you for bringing us together here at this in this Zoom meeting. I thank you for the Mr. So what's your name, sir?
Rowan.
Yes, that Mr. Rowan Small has given us tonight. I pray that you help us to remember all this information during our exams, and I pray that you help us to use it to our maximum advantage, Lord. Amen.
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 All right, Curtis.
Amen.
Curtis, orphan log out before them
Amen.
crucify you. Yes? So Curtis, and everyone, please.
Wait, sir. Hold on, don't lock up it.
Curtis, go to your farm.
Curtis, what are you saying?
Curtis,
I
go to your farm.
guys, I don't think we can hear Curtis, you know.
We can't hear him, sir. We can't, sir, him gone too far. Yo, sir, him gone
I'm
too
hearing you
far,
clearly.
sir. Yo, he's going to his
sir, I can't
Make
hear
him
Curtis
going
either,
for-
you know,
we
sir.
can't
Hear
dog. Can't hear, brother. Can't hear
some
nothing,
reason-
dog. You just lock off, you know. My eardrums lock off, dog.
For some reason, I just can't hear. I don't know what Curtis said.
Like, my eardrums lock off
I
every time
wonder to
Curtis
like,
speak,
yo, Curtis, you know,
Sir,
dog.
Now, Curtis, yeah, exist.
sir, I think your problem is a boy
Brother.
here.
Guys, I think Curtis gone to him farm, you know. Him gone to him goat them, isn't it? So we just
Guys.
have to make him stay.
That was so, guys, you know, I really wanted to hear what Curtis is upset to, but boy, look like him
That's
log off.
sign,
Man.
sir. Sir, that's sign, sir.
Him log off, man. I just like us still. I swear, we can't win it all, you know.
A part of life, you know, sir.
A part, you know. So I'm glad you said that though.
But I want him to thank Curtis for the prayer, you know.
Yeah, man, we need the prayer, man.
Yeah, man.
And
A
listen,
Pastor
make
Curtis,
sure
no, dog. Pastor
to
Curtis.
pray before, you know.
Yeah.
Make sure you just read a word of prayer before I come and thing, yeah? So guys, all the best. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you in the paper one session, yeah?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
no problem. Enjoy and
One
have a
thing,
great
sir.
exam.
Could
Yeah?
you give us the
Thank you,
file?
sir.
Yes, I'm gonna send both of them in the group now.
All right.
Sir, what is the paper one session?
The paper one session will be let me see. The paper one session. I'll send it in the group, don't worry.
Sir,
All
which
information
group?
is in the group. Yeah?
What group?
What group? Wait, hold on. We get not in the group. 1 second. Wait.
The CXC group, sir. The CXC group, sir.
CSEC group you right, sir?
Huh?
Like
Yes, the
CSEC group
CXC
you
group. The
Oh,
CSEC
okay.
group. Let me send the link in the Zoom for those who aren't in there.
Later, sir.
Huh?
Later, sir.
Yeah, man. Take care, guys. I'm gonna send the link in the group now for those who aren't in there.
Say how
1
you
second.
send the link in the group for those who aren't in the group. Sir, when you can just post it in the
No,
chat.
no. In the Zoom. Sorry, in the Zoom.
Okay.
In the Zoom chat.
So anyone could be a part of this group?
Huh?
Anyone could be a part of this group?
Yes.
Okay.
So I just send the link in the group. So those who aren't in the group, just join up quickly. And take care, guys.
Sir, goodbye, sir.
All right, bye. Take care, guys.
Good night.